I used to have a bathroom full of skincare products. I had all of the serums, the toners, the sprays. Even if I wasn't really sure what the ingredients were doing, I loved skincare and I felt like the more products I used, the better it must be for my skin. But over the last few years, I've really streamlined my skincare routine. And I mentioned this in a recent video that I posted, which was 15 things I don't buy anymore. I will link that down below if you haven't seen it yet. And a lot of you guys requested that I do a video sharing the products that I am using now. So that is what I'm doing today. So about 3 years ago, I decided that I wanted to learn which products I actually needed to be using on my skin, specifically for anti-aging. So I got online, I looked up one of the top dermatologists here in Seattle, and I went in and verbatim what I asked her is, how do I keep this looking like this for as long as I can? She told me that there are 3 ingredients or products that are must-haves in my skincare routine, and she advised me on a few other things for my skincare routine, and I have adopted that regimen ever since, and I am so happy with it. Now, disclaimer, obviously these recommendations are based on my skin type, how my doctor evaluated me. Also, in case you didn't know already, I'm not a doctor, I'm not qualified to give skincare advice, so if there's anything you take away from this video, it should be that you should make an appointment with your dermatologist and have this same conversation with them. Okay, so the first product my dermatologist told me I need to be using on my skin is a vitamin C serum, and I use this in the morning underneath my moisturizer, sunscreen, anything else. It's the first thing on my clean skin. The serum that I use is the IS Clinical Super Serum Advance. I love this stuff so much. I'm going to talk about it more in just a minute. The reason, as far as I understand, that a serum like this is so important in your regimen is the vitamin C ingredient. I think it's called like absorbic acid or something. Again, not a doctor. Google this, go talk to someone who's actually qualified about this. That ingredient is one of the few ingredients that has been proven to reverse signs of aging. So something that I've always felt is kind of tricky about skincare and choosing what products to use and where to spend your money is when you're relatively young, like in your teens and 20s and even your 30s, you don't really have any signs of aging yet. So you don't really know if all these products you're spending money on for anti-aging are actually doing anything. Like, you're just hoping that they're preventative. Like, if you use this stuff for decades, that you'll hit like your 50s and 60s and 70s and have fewer wrinkles and sunspots and all the stuff that we're trying to minimize. I feel like I never really know if it's actually working or if I've just been conned into spending a bunch of money on a product that claims it's going to keep me looking young, but I'm not going to figure out if it actually worked for decades. But this serum is the first skincare product I've ever used where I have seen actual, obvious, non-negotiable evidence of age reversal on my skin. Sometime around my early to mid 20s, I had a sunspot form around my right temple, and it was pretty large, like not quite a dime size, but maybe like half a dime size. Like, it was noticeable. Less than 1 bottle of use of this completely removed that spot from my face. I could not believe it. And I've been sold on it ever since. I use this every single morning on my face, neck, and chest. I also use it on the back of my hands. I put a drop on one hand and then I just like rub the backs together, because the backs of your hands show aging earlier than most other places, because like when you're driving in your car and your hands are up, like getting sun on the wheel. Now, the downside to this product is it is incredibly expensive. It's the most expensive skincare product I think I've ever purchased. This bottle retails for $155, which I know is absolutely insane. But the way that I look at it is, if I had gone into a dermatologist to get some sort of a laser treatment or something to try and remove sunspots, that would have cost me multiple times what this bottle cost me. So even though this bottle is incredibly expensive, it's still probably cheaper than doing like laser treatments or something else for my skin. The second product my dermatologist said I need to be using on my skin is a topical retinoid. So this could be retinol or tretinoin. I use tretinoin. This is to be used at night on clean skin underneath my moisturizer or anything else that I'm putting on my face. And from what I understand, the perks of using a retinoid are, I have notes right here, that it increases the production of collagen, it reduces the look of fine lines, improves uneven skin tone, dark spots, and it's commonly used to treat acne if you have acne issues. My dermatologist has an in-house chemist or pharmacist that makes this tretinoin, so this is just a prescription. I don't know if that's a common thing that any dermatologist can prescribe for you, but also before I used this, I used the Skinceuticals Retinol, which I also really liked. You can find that on like Dermstore or any kind of skincare website. However, I pay about half the price for this than I did for the Skinceuticals Retinol because that's actually quite expensive. So if you can get it in a prescription, it might be much cheaper to do it that way. And then the third product my dermatologist said is absolutely crucial for an anti-aging skincare regimen is a zinc-based sunscreen. She said that we're finding that chemical sunscreens might not be very good for us and they're not good for the environment. And then when it comes to physical sunscreen options, there's titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. And from what I understand, titanium dioxide doesn't do as good of a job of blocking UVA rays as zinc does. So it has to be zinc. The sunscreen that I really love is the Elta MD UV Clear Broad Spectrum SPF 46. This has 9% zinc oxide. It also has some octinoxate in it, which is a chemical sunscreen, but I have heard that not all chemical sunscreens are created equally, and I see this brand and this product all over dermatologist offices, so I don't know if there's something about it that like, that's okay. But as far as how it feels to wear it, this sunscreen is so nice on the face. It doesn't have that like sticky sunscreeny feel to it. I've gone through bottles and bottles of this and I love it. If you're looking for something tinted, I also used the DermaQuest Sheer Tint, I think is what it's called, for a while. That one definitely had more of a dewy, glowy finish to it, but I also really liked that, and I believe it was pure zinc. There was no chemical sunscreen in it. Okay, next let's talk about moisturizer, because what my dermatologist had to say about moisturizer kind of surprised me. I was kind of expecting her to point me in the direction of something that was very high-end or had certain ingredients, like convince me that I need to be using La Mer face cream or something like that, but she actually just advised me to find a moisturizer that I like, that's good, and to use that. And she didn't really like harp on ingredients. I don't know if that's because of my specific skin type and concerns. She told me I don't need to be using something different in the morning versus the night, especially because I'm using a separate sunscreen, so I don't need to use like an SPF moisturizer in the morning. So to be honest, I'm not really fussy about moisturizer. I would say I have combination skin, so I get some oil in my T-zone, I get some dryness elsewhere. And very oddly, over the last like year or year and a half, I have started to get a little bit of breakouts along my chin. I have no idea why, because I haven't changed anything like medications or regimen or anything. It just kind of started happening. The eye cream that I'm currently using is the DermaE Firming DMAE Eye Lift. And the moisturizer that I'm using for the rest of my face is the DermaE Hydrating Night Cream. I really like this brand. I buy it at Whole Foods and I've liked basically everything that I've tried from them. And both of these moisturizers do the trick, but again, I'm not really fussy about moisturizer. Like after these are done, I will maybe try something else out. The next product that is a must-have in my skincare routine is a good exfoliant. And this is a holy grail skincare product for me. I've used it longer than I've used anything else in this video. I've used it for probably 5 years now. It's also from DermaE. It's their Microdermabrasion scrub. If you have not tried this, you should pick up a jar of it. You can get it at Whole Foods. I think you can find it on Amazon. What I love most about this scrub is the consistency is really fine and dense. It feels like wet sand. My biggest pet peeve with exfoliants is when they're not very dense. Like when you feel like there's 5 granules in a scrub and you're like trying to get them all around your face. This one is not like that. It's very, very dense. I use this twice a week, all the same areas as everything else in this video on my face, neck, chest, and the backs of my hands. And the reason an exfoliant is so essential for my routine is it scrubs off all of those dead, flaky skin cells that sit on top of your skin that prevent your other ingredients from absorbing. And there's no way that I'm putting my super expensive serum on top of dead, flaky skin where it doesn't actually reach my real skin. And then the last product that I use in my skincare routine is a cleanser. And I'm also not fussy at all about what cleanser I use. The one that I'm currently using is the Versed Wash It Out Gel Cleanser. This works really well. It's also good at taking makeup off. And that's it. That is my streamlined skincare routine. I will have all these products listed and linked down in the info box if you want to check any of them out. I would love to know what you're using in your routine, and especially if you've talked to your doctor and you have like your own special regimen from them that's different from this. I'd be really curious to know what it is. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you know when new videos are posted. Shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. If you need a website for any kind of online presence, Squarespace is the easiest place to build one. You can have a portfolio, a store, a blog. It's literally a drag and drop process to build a site. They have 24/7 customer service and so many cool layouts to choose from. So go to squarespace.com to sign up for a free trial. You can design your site, and when it's ready to go, visit squarespace.com/Allison Anderson to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.